The blue whale. It's the biggest animal on Earth, rivaling massive prehistoric dinosaurs in both size and weight, and is the largest creature to evolve in the 4 billion or so years of life on Earth. These magnificent animals can weigh up to 200 tons, which is the equivalent of around 33 elephants, and reach up to 98 feet in length. Although despite their enormous body mass, they rely heavily on tiny crustaceans called krill to feed them, and they consume up to 6 tons of them each day. They live as long as humans and can travel thousands of miles across the ocean, and few realize that all whales play a vital role in the maritime ecosystem, where they help provide at least half of the oxygen we breathe, combat climate change, and sustain fish stocks, helping to keep our planet habitable for the foreseeable future. However, since the blue whale was discovered in the 1600s, there is still so much we do not know about these elusive monsters of the sea. And in today's video, we'll be looking at 5 things we still do not understand about blue whales. But first, let's talk about wisdom and learning, which are fundamental aspects to life and growth. One of our main goals here at Top 5s is not just to entertain, but to teach and encourage our viewers to take their own journeys by gaining knowledge and learning new skills to hone their interests and goals. The mysteries of Earth and beyond are accessible to anyone who strives to solve them, whether that be through creativity and imagination or technical mastery. We receive hundreds of requests from people around the world asking how they can make their own projects and jump into a world of imagination and discovery. Through our partnership with Skillshare, proud sponsors of today's video, we are presenting you with an opportunity to do just that, learning about creating. Skillshare is a community for online instruction built by creatives for creatives. Skillshare offers thousands of classes for people interested in gaining a new skill, whether it be artistic or technical, covered by topics ranging from film and photography to illustration and design. You don't have to be a master at your craft either. Skillshare is made for passionate beginners and those trying new activities for the first time. Many viewers ask how they can create their own documentaries to dive deep into an untold story of our universe. And through Skillshare, we found the perfect class called Creating a Modern Cinematic Documentary Film with Soul, taught by Dandan Liu. This course gives you everything you need to start developing that top-notch documentary, but more importantly, reminds us that with all creative things, putting a piece of our heart and soul into the things we make is most important. Through our sponsorship, the first 1,000 subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership, so you can explore your creativity and do something you couldn't do yesterday. And if you love it like we do, you can sign up for just $10 a month on an annual membership after the trial ends, with ad-free courses and an unlimited number of new premium lessons added each month. No more waiting. Tap into your imagination, embrace the creativity within you, and join Skillshare today. Fulfillment and discovery are only a few courses away. And now, let's get into this. What do the blue whale's haunting calls and songs mean? Like many marine creatures, blue whales are often heard singing. Their songs are described as being made up of units, continuous segments of sound, and phrases, repeated combinations of units. They tend to sing in monotones, and their songs sound noticeably different from that of the humpback whale, which creates repetitive songs with its units and phrases. Take a listen to the humpback whale song. Now compared to the blue whales, which is noticeably deeper. Take a listen. It's worth pointing out that both audios have been sped up by a factor of 10, as whale sounds in their raw state are subsonic and below the range of human hearing. Scientists are still debating the exact use of these calls. Some experts suggest that perhaps males use song to attract females. Female blue whales are known to call, but only in social situations, and they do not sing like the males of their species do. Journalists and experts alike have wondered if their calls are used to detect canyons, seamounts, or even swarms of krill. And if so, does a male capable of locating food have an edge over the competition when it comes to mating? At one point, scientists believed that one specific short call that was frequently heard was used to signal mealtime, but it was later found that male and female blue whales used this call during dives that didn't involve hunting for food. Just recently, it has been discovered that blue whales sing at the end of the day like some birds do. However, it's unknown why they do so. It appears that blue whales do not have distinctive voices, unlike the dolphin species killer whales, and it's unknown if there is any interspecies communication. Then there are the D calls. The D call is the name given to calls which are higher in frequency than some of the male-only songs, and they are generally associated with social behavior and feeding. The D call was first noticed during a rumba or mating ritual, and was at first thought only to be associated with the courtship custom. However, D calls have been recorded in nearly all populations of blue whales in social situations, such as between a mother and her calf. These calls are normally heard when another blue whale is in close proximity. Unlike blue whale songs, the D call can be produced by both males and females, so the call is not used to serenade females. During the breeding season for humpback whales, only males can sing, making this blue whale D call stand out. Experts have wondered if during the rumba, the D call is used to maintain the bond between the initial pair, or used to allow the female to express her interest in one male over the other, but it's largely unknown what the exact purpose of the call is, other than its association with socializing. Take a listen to the D call. To date, the various calls and songs of blue whales, what they mean, and what benefits they may bring, is still not understood by scientists. Is this the first recorded footage of a heat run? There is very little known about social behaviour and courtship in the blue whale species. These huge animals are known to mate around the autumn and winter months, and partake in an odd competition of sorts, which is often referred to as a rumba, although it is also called a heat run. During this event, two males fight over a female. They swim after her at high speeds, and often attack and ram one another. A whale photographer named Darren Jew described what it was like to photograph such a peculiar yet violent event. The conflicts can be quite brutal, with whales ramming each other, pounding each other with their tail flukes, even breaching out of the water and landing on top of each other, he said. These rumbas last several hours until one of the males drops out. Afterwards, the successful couple embarks on a swim together for several days or weeks before migrating. Although this race has been witnessed, it's unknown if it ends in reproduction, as blue whale reproduction has never been seen. Blue whales aren't the only ones who take part in this aggressive ritual, however. It has been well documented and recorded in the humpback species, but blue whales have managed to avoid being captured on video. At least, that was until 2017, when a BBC Blue Planet videographer named Patrick Dykstra captured what he believed was the first recording of two blue whales engaging in a heat run. The footage was filmed using a drone off the coast of Sri Lanka, but has led to a lot of debate. Take a look. Lee Tors, a National Geographic explorer and marine ecologist, said, "It is a lot of assumption to think this is sexual courting." Lee goes on to note that whales have been seen racing with each other before, and it does not necessarily mean that it is part of a mating ritual. The two can be confused. It's also been pointed out that from the surface, it's difficult to tell males from females. Other experts have argued that the courtship custom often involves 3 blue whales, and this is possibly just 2 whales swimming together. However, Patrick stands by his footage, believing that what he captured was not normal behaviour. It is still unclear if this truly is the first recorded footage of a blue whale heat run, and if so, what an incredible video. Why has the blue whale song frequency changed? Since the 1960s, blue whale researchers have been collecting recordings of the animal's song. However, it wasn't until 2001 that the change in frequency was noticed. Every year, the song's tonal frequency is falling by a few fractions of a hertz. This isn't simply a bizarre event that's happening with one group of blue whales either, but it's happening across all, from those in the East Indian Oceans to those in the North Atlantic and South Pacific. There have been several theories over the years as to why this may be happening. The first explanation was the involvement of noise pollution caused by increasing shipping traffic. Ambient ocean noise has increased by more than 12 decibels since the mid-20th century. But if the whales were attempting to be heard above the noise, it seems more likely that they'd sing at a higher pitch rather than a lower one. Another suggestion involves the recovery of the blue whale population. Since song recordings began, once the hunting of the blue whale stopped, perhaps now their population has increased, they can lower their pitch. It's possible that when there were fewer blue whales scattered about the ocean, they had to sing louder and higher so that they could reach others of their species. However, experts have noticed that the shift is affecting even those whose population went relatively unscathed by hunters in the 20th century. It's even been speculated that perhaps some male blue whales are trying to emulate others with deeper songs in an effort to impress females, but at this point, we simply don't know. In one specific case, blue whales off the US West Coast have seen their song pitch drop by 31% since the late 1960s. This strange event is still being studied by scientists, but answers are yet to emerge. The mystery of the loneliest whale in the world. The story begins in 1989, when sound surveillance system hydrophones, originally put in place to detect the rumble of Soviet subs during the Cold War, picked up something altogether different. Whale songs, similar to a blue whale call. However, this sound was like no other whale call heard before. The key notes were at a frequency of 52 Hz, significantly higher than the usual blue whale call, which ranged between 10 and 40 Hz. The same sound was detected again in 1990 and 1991. Take a listen. Following the end of the Cold War in 1992, the US Navy partially declassified the recordings and technical specifications of its anti-submarine hydrophone arrays and made the surveillance system available for oceanographic research. This was when Bill Watkins, a marine mammal researcher at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution in Massachusetts, first realized the significance of the Navy's recordings and the 52 Hz whale, and for the next 12 years he worked on tracking it down. Watkins passed away in 2004, aged 78, but a few months before his death, he completed work on a paper that summarized his 12-year search, and the world has been debating his findings ever since. Watkins had discovered that the 52 Hz whale was not just unusual, but utterly unique, and although it seemed inconceivable that there could only be one of its kind in such a large expanse of ocean, that appeared to be the case. The creature's sound was detected in the Pacific Ocean every year from August to December, before moving out of range of the hydrophones in January and February. The whale was known to travel as far north as the Kodiak Islands and as far south as the California coast, swimming up to 70 kilometers a day. Its calls deepened slightly to around 50 Hz, suggesting the whale had grown or matured as time went on. Although Watkins and his team were unable to identify the whale species, it did have similar traits to a blue whale or fin whale, leading to the possibility that a 52 Hz whale is a hybrid of the two. Such a whale would have an unusual body, and that could well affect its song. Watkinson's report led the media to dub the animal the loneliest whale in the world, claiming that its unusual call could not be heard by a normal whale, and had stopped it finding love. However, experts have rejected these headlines and state that 52 Hz whale's call has a lot of the same features of a typical blue whale song, and that other whales would be able to hear it, although they may find it a bit strange. Sadly, since Watkins' death, little research has gone into tracking the whale, although there is evidence that the sound has been gradually deepening, and today it's thought to be close to 47 Hz. As we have already mentioned, this is not an unusual trait for blue whales, as they have been singing at steadily deeper pitches since the 1960s. It is known that every season they listen to each other and synchronize their songs accordingly, competing with each other to be deeper, season after season. Although, like most things with blue whales, no one knows why. The research so far suggests that at least part of the 52 Hz whale is a blue whale, and recent data indicates there is now more than one animal singing at this unusually high pitch, suggesting 52 Hz whale might not be a single animal. There may be multiple animals, meaning the whale is not all that lonely after all. However, the mystery of the whale remains unsolved, and finding definitive evidence of its existence will not be easy. But the good news is that filmmakers and researchers are on the case, and hopefully soon we will discover the true nature of what was once called the loneliest whale in the world. And maybe after your Skillshare course, this could be you. But for now, all we can do is wait and wonder. The future of blue whales. For years, scientists have been fitting radio tags to members of the blue whale population so that they can track their whereabouts. And in 2019, researchers examining records of both blue whale migration and oceanic conditions discovered that when the giant creatures migrate, they don't actively seek out the present locations of krill, but instead rely on old historic sites that have served them well in the past. They treat these locations as reliable food sources, making their movements based on their expectations of when and where food will be available as they travel. Blue whales don't track the modern waves of krill. Their movements can be predicted by looking at where their food has been, rather than where it currently is. According to experts, the animals probably rely on memory due to the ocean's year-to-year variability. They choose places they know and places they deem to be more reliable, then risk going elsewhere and finding either nothing or not enough food. Since blue whales are specialist hunters that rely on dense swarms of krill to reach their daily calorie intake, many have become concerned about the future of the animals. While they are already endangered as it is, there is a strong fear that with ocean pollution and humans' lack of care for the planet, the creatures may not be able to survive by relying on old sites for feeding. It's been speculated that their dependency on historical food sites could hinder their ability to adapt to an environment, an ecosystem that may be changing by human pollution and overfishing. So that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed this video on 5 things that we still do not understand about blue whales. A truly magnificent creature that we are lucky to share the planet with. We hope you've enjoyed, and as always, we'll see you in the next video.